Hello and welcome to this power-packed edition of How to Repair Your Credit. Yes, we've all heard the saying that cash is king, but credit is queen, guys. And it's time that we learn how to leverage other people's money to get where we want to go as far as our finances are concerned. Yes, I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach, and I'm going to help you do just that. If you take this wisdom, this knowledge, this information, and actually implement what I'm going to share with you today, I'll be sharing with you some things you can do starting today that are going to help you to improve your credit so that you can do what? Make your money, keep your money, and grow your money so you can do the things that you're called to do. So give me just one quick moment. I want to share this PowerPoint with you because I have some vital information on how to improve your credit that we're going to go through today, tonight, this morning, this evening, wherever you are, no matter where you are. Thank you so much for tuning in with Financial Solutions by Dimmons Enterprise. Again, I'm Lynn Dimmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach. So by the end of this training, you will understand what? These are the things that I'm hoping that you walk away with. You will definitely walk away with how poor credit can prevent you from doing certain things. Yes, some of these things you already know. However, it's also helpful to have key reminders as we continue on our day-to-day journey. Sometimes we can get caught up in the minutia of the day, of just getting through. Sometimes we need these gentle reminders to help us to make sure that we're doing those things that are going to do what? Help us make our money, keep our money, and grow our money. Also, it is never too late to start to build good credit. Yes, you heard me. It is never too late. Some tips and strategies and skills you can develop, yes, starting today, will be shared with you. Also, what information on the credit report is seen as negative, because there are a lot of misconceptions out there that I want to help dispel today as we go through this. So make sure you tune in throughout this training. Also, share this out to someone else. There are others in our community that need to know that we can leverage other people's money. And when I say other people's money, guys, your American Express, your Visa, your MasterCard, those are other people's money that you can leverage now to improve your cash flow as well as help you to build your net worth so you can do what you're called to do. Yes, yes, and yes. I think that is very powerful once we get these concepts down and start to live by them. And last, but definitely not least, I'm going to be sharing some ways to improve your credit on this video today. So make sure you stay tuned in throughout this segment. So again, I say welcome. This is a free zone, shall I say, right? There's no reason for you to be concerned or distraught over your financial situation. I want you to feel at ease, right? I want you to feel that this is all about you and you're getting where you need to be. It does not matter what anyone else says, what anyone else does, what anyone else thinks. This is about you and your family and getting to your next. So what do you hope to get out of this training today is the question I want you to ask yourself. What do you hope to get out of this? What do you want to walk away with? What are you intentional about? Because as soon as we're intentional about everything that we do, the more complete, the better the possibility, the probability that we are going to achieve that thing. So what does bad credit mean to you, right? We all hear these different numbers, all these different numbers in regards to credit. You know, what's a good credit score? What's a bad credit score? What does bad credit really mean to you? And the reason I posed the question in that way, because what's important to you is really what matters, all right? What are the things that you want to do, right, that your credit may or may not allow you to do? So thinking along those lines, what does bad credit mean to you? It may mean something different to every individual person, but it means something specific to those creditors who may want to lend to you. For example, Nowadays, it doesn't mean just not being able to get a mortgage or being able to rent. In some cases, you may not be able to get a job because you have bad credit. Yes, they are checking your credit for jobs now. So there are different ways that credit can now impact you in which they were not impacting in the past. So how can bad credit limit your life? So you see the picture here. We all know that bad credit can either limit you from purchasing your home or cause you to pay more to be able to purchase that home or that car or whatever that is, right? You want to go and purchase a home, your neighbor could possibly get that same home loan for 4% interest, but because you have bad credit, now you're paying 6, 7, or 8% interest, whereas you could have been paying 3 or 4% interest. So that your credit can limit your life in different ways. However, as I stated earlier, it is never too late, right, to work on improving your credit. So poor credit can hinder you from getting credit cards, from renting apartments, from starting phone services in many cases, buying life insurance. Yeah, I said it, buying life insurance. Poor credit can stop you from doing that. And we mentioned getting a job. So guys, there are so many different ways that it can impact your life beyond what Big Mama and them told us how credit impacts our life. You know, that the story that was shared from generation to generation was credit in getting into debt is really bad, but there are some things we can do now that we can choose to leverage, right? Leveraging other people's money, leveraging your credit to be able to do things differently in your financial life that I'm going to share with you today. So how do you know? Right? That's the question on the table. How do you know if you have bad credit? First and foremost, you don't know until you look and know where you're starting, right? So definitely, first and foremost, the number one thing you need to do is go pull your credit report. All right. If you have not done that, maybe you haven't done that in a while. You've done it before, but you haven't done that in a while. Please do that. This is something that should be a priority, a non-negotiable, a must once a year to pull your credit report. What we do in our family is at the beginning of the year, we take the time out to pull, because there's a free annual credit report out there, right? That we all know about, to actually pull it over so we can see what information has been reported by each of the different credit reporting bureaus. And there are 3, right? So this is the information that's on file that these folks have captured from this data dump, if you will, and they call that your credit report. So make sure that you get your credit report. You can go to the annualcreditreport.com to actually see a copy of your credit report. It's free. It's also free. Remember this, it's also free if you've been turned down for credit. Then you can go and say, hey, I would like to have a copy of my credit report so that I can actually see those areas and the things that are causing me to be denied for, this car loan or this home loan or whatever it is. I can't rent this apartment, or I didn't get the job because, right? You can go in and look. There is a charge of about $10 per copy if you want to also get your scores, your credit scores or your FICO scores on your credit report. But just to see those things that are listed on there, you can go to annualcreditreport.com, download that for free. But I highly recommend that you do get your reports. So you say, who are these credit reporting bureaus then, Lynn? Contrary to popular belief, they are not government agencies, okay? Credit reporting agencies or credit reporting bureaus are not a government agencies. These are just companies in which these other entities have decided to report to. So they're essentially collecting data on you. And in many cases, they take your data and they sell it to other companies that are looking for people like you to potentially solicit for credit cards or loans or whatever the case may be. So they're data dumps. and to use it to borrow from a term used earlier. So those three credit reporting, those three credit bureaus are Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. And you've heard of all three of those before, but please know, if you didn't know that, they are not government agencies. These are companies out there that have taken advantage of the opportunity to get your data and now sell it to others. But because of the fact that they take your data and they sell it to others, these score, your credit score is very important. It's vital to your ability to be able to leverage other people's money to change your financial situation. So what are those items in your credit report? There's information about your past credit that's in there for years, as well as your current credit. So any credit cards you've had, any car loans, your mortgage. It has information about credit accounts you've had in the past 7 or 10 years. If you file for bankruptcy. So you'll see all of that information reported on there. However, the reason that we say to check is because maybe there's some misinformation that's been reported and you were not aware, and it's causing some negative opportunities within your life. So we'll get into that a little later, but make sure you do that. That's priority number one. Pull that credit report. Okay. So in looking at your score, you say, well, Lyndon, what is this FICO score, right? What is in my FICO score? The number one component of your FICO score is your payment history. How well do you pay on the information, on the things that you have borrowed? Okay. So your payment history, which makes up 35% of your FICO score, is very important. In looking at your payment history, it's just whether or not you pay on time. And what you can do in the event, you know, we all understand things happen in life, right? If you do happen to slip up and you miss one payment, right? You miss one payment, say your payment's 30 days late because, you know, something happened. Maybe you were going on a trip or a vacation and you missed payment for that particular item. There's a such thing as a goodwill letter that you can write to the company and actually ask them to forgive that, if they can remove that. And in many cases, they will. Sometimes it doesn't even require a letter. Sometimes you can call them up and ask that that's removed. But most opportunities, it depends upon the organization or the entity that you're working with. You may need to definitely put it in writing. I highly suggest you put everything in writing so that you have a record of it, because you want to cover yourself. So 35% of your score is your payment history. So make sure moving forward that you pay on time. The minimum balance, if you want to put extra toward it, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that it is done on time. And if you foresee something that's going to happen, make sure you call. Give a courtesy call up front so that you can make some sort of negotiations on your behalf that are going to be beneficial to both parties. The second most important thing is the amount owed. What is the amount you owe? Okay, so looking at the amount owed, so let's look at your credit. You have different types of things on your credit. You have revolving credit or you have fixed credit. Okay, your revolving credit would be your credit cards and things of that nature that are going to replenish. So if I have a $1,000 credit card and I spend up $500 and then I pay that $500 off, I still have $1,000 worth of credit available to me. So that's revolving credit as opposed to fixed credit. Fixed credit would be like my car loan. My car loan is $20,000. I pay that off, $500. And now it's come down to $19,500, right? That's what I'm paying off. It doesn't revolve back to the $20,000 available to me in the same way that the revolving credit does. So revolving credit is huge when we talk about the amounts owed. This is the huge portion of your FICO score. So looking at your revolving credit, what's available to you. As long as you keep that, your utilization, your usage below 30%, okay? Make sure you keep that usage below 30%. Dare I say, try to go to 10%. But as long as you keep it below 30%, that's favorable and that works in your favor as far as your FICO score is concerned. So let's say you have a credit card for $1,000 and you've spent $800 on that credit card. Your credit utilization is now 80%. So you owe 80% of the credit that you have available to you. And that's considered to be risky for many creditors when we're looking at this. So what you do now, if you are in that situation, and many of us may be in that situation, there are a couple of things that you can do that can now boost your ability to improve your FICO score. And one of those is an authorized user, okay? You can become an authorized user on a willing participant's account that you know they have a high credit available opportunity and low usage, okay, for that particular credit card. So let's say, for example, my son has a $20,000 credit card available to him, and I know he doesn't use more than $1,000 on that credit card. So I can now ask my son if I could now become an authorized user on his credit card. Now, what the beauty of this is, and what the benefit is for both parties, is for the end user, for the original credit card owner, okay, say my son in this example. For him, the beauty of it is he can now help me out because he has a good credit availability on his credit card. He's making me an authorized user on his credit card, but the thing that he knows is I don't have to have access to that credit card. I don't ever have to have it in my possession. He can request that the credit card come to him, or he can request that no card is actually issued, okay? Then that way he knows that he's doing something good. He's doing a goodwill offering, if you will, helping me out in that arena. And then he also knows that the credit utilization is not going to go up because of anything that I've done. And he also knows that he will not be impacted by what I have going on in my situation. So that's the beauty of it. And make sure that that is also shared, that you do not impact the credit of the individual in whom you are requesting this assistance from, okay? So your credit score, your credit history does not connect to that individual, that other person who has made you an authorized user. So that's something quick and simple that you can do. Find someone who has good credit. They must be a willing participant now. A willing participant who is saying, okay, yes, I'm willing to do this for you, give you access to my American Express card, so that now you no longer have that $1,000 credit card with $800 utilization, making it 80%. You now have $21,000, right, available to you, so that you can have a lower amount owed, right, percentage owed in the credit that's available to you. So a couple of things to remember. Very important when it comes to your credit. If you've been denied credit in the past 60 days or less, you can get a free copy of your credit report. So don't forget that. You have the right to correct any errors in your credit report that you notice when you make this request. So ensure that you do that in writing. There are several things that you can do, and I also have available
an actual course that will share with you how to do that. Gives you all the templates, the letters you need to use. It's only $9.99, all right? Get what you need to do to move to your next. The length of your credit history is also very important when it comes to your FICO score. How long have you had this credit available to you? Other portions of your score that are very important, in addition to the length of the credit history, of course, having 5 years is typically on the bad side. You want longer credit beyond 5 years. You want to have that credit available to you 15, 20 years on down the road. The good part of this conversation is that this is only 15% of it. So some of you are just now starting out, or you're starting over, and you're like, I can't make years just poof out of thin air. And I get that, right? But know that that's 15% of your opportunity. So when you get that authorized user, perhaps maybe they've had their credit card for 15, 20 years, then that would be a great opportunity for you to capitalize on two things, credit utilization, or the amount owed, as well as the length of your credit history to help improve your credit score. Another little known fact that you can do today is new credit, applying for new credit. You say, well, wait a minute, Lynn, I'm already challenged in obtaining credit anyway. I cannot get another credit card right now because my credit score is low. However, if you're able to achieve the paying on time from here on out, you get an authorized user. That's now increased your opportunity. Now, this is going to give it about 60 to 90 days, right? So that you can improve a little in those areas, then go out and try to obtain new credit yet again. The beauty of this is that there are continuous opportunities as long as you stay consistent. And this becomes a non-negotiable for you, that you stay on this path and continue to work on this. Another key benefactor of your FICO score, or a key contributor of your FICO score, are the types of credit that you use. Yeah, we talked about revolving credit. We talked about fixed credit. So make sure you have a mix of credit, not just a mix of credit cards and then store credit cards, but a mix of credit on your account. Maybe your mortgage, your student loans, personal loans, in addition to credit card loans and auto loans and things of that nature. So try to get a healthy mix of credit available to you as well, because that comprises 10% of your score. So this is very important to note as you're working through this process to improve your credit, that you have all of those things available to you. And if you do notice things that are incorrect, you can have that inaccurate information removed. One little known fact is that because credit agencies or collection agencies, they tend to sell debt over and over and over. And one little known fact is, if they cannot prove, if they don't have something with your signature on it saying that you are responsible for this debt, then there's an opportunity for you to have that removed as inaccurate information on your report. So you do have an option to correct those errors that may show up on your report. All you have to do is send those letters out. And what I do to help with this process, you send this letter out, give them 30 days to respond, okay? Some of the institutions may respond right away within that 30 days and go ahead and make the necessary changes, but some, it may take you 120 days. So that means over that time frame, you have to send out 4 letters to them requesting that this information be removed if they cannot verify this is the correct information that should be reported on your report, that's an error. So you have the right, that is the Fair Credit legislation that has been released, that they have to have documentation that this belongs to you, and you can have those things removed. from your credit reports. So in thinking about that, sometimes some things are more difficult to remove on your own. And it depends. It varies from situation to situation. And I know oftentimes you don't want to hear it depends. You want one concrete answer, but there's no one solid answer. Your situation is not the same as my situation, is not the same as the next person's situation. So do credit repair companies help fix bad credit? Yes, there are some reputable companies out there that can do this legally, but you can do it yourself if you choose to put the work in. Credit repair companies do charge you money to be able to offer you this service. So, and sometimes it's a lot of money. So you have to weigh the options. What's most important to you? Do you want to spend the time to actually go through this process and pull these things through, or you're in the situation where you truly need someone to actually come in and help, okay? The number one thing that you do have to remember, though, if the information is accurate, no one can legally remove accurate negative information from a credit report. That is illegal, all right? And if you decide to work with a company, make sure that you're researching the company, that they're a reputable company that's going to have your best interest at heart as far as providing the services to you. Because it's your money, guys. You save it, you spend it, you protect it. You make your money, you keep your money, you grow your money so you can do what you're called to do. That's the whole result. So when you plan out your credit makeover, these are the steps, these are the things that you should follow suit on. First and foremost, and we said this at the very beginning, make sure you receive a copy, that you get the copy of your credit reports. There are 3 from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You can get one comprehensive report. You're going to have to pay for that, or you can request your free reports, but your FICO scores will not be available on those. So make sure that you get those reports. I highly recommend that you get the comprehensive report with all 3 so that you can look at it. You say, Lynn, why? Because you could have a very different credit score on each one of those. You could have a 700 on Experian, a 600 on TransUnion, and then a 650 with Equifax. And you say, well, why in the world does that happen? It's because different companies report to different bureaus. And that's the reason that I suggest and highly recommend that you get all 3. Because it depends on the organization that you're going to, that you're seeking capital from, or you're seeking the money from. They may only go to TransUnion. And if TransUnion is your lowest score, you want to know what's been reported there that's negatively affecting you, okay? So make sure that you obtain all 3 of those reports so that you can go through this process. And while you're going through, review and understand your credit. Make sure that you review every single line by line, what's on there, and that those things truly belong to you. And dispute any discrepancies. Anything that you see that is inaccurate, that is wrong, but you have no idea as to how that ends up on your credit report, definitely dispute it. Get those letters in so that you can take care of that. Review the different types of credit you have while you're at it, right? Look and see, do I have a great mix of revolving credit versus fixed credit? What do I have available to me? What is my revolving credit line? And make sure without a shadow of a doubt, no matter what you do from here moving forward, that you make all payments on time, whether you're paying the bare bones minimum payment on every item, or if you want to pay extra. Make sure you do that. And in doing this, continue to keep your credit usage or your credit utilization below 30% of the credit that's available to you. In this process, while you're working on this, you are paying down debt. So make sure that you're intentional in your focus to pay down debt and maintain your accounts long term. Just because you pay something off, do not close it out, because that also can impact your credit, okay? Do not close it off simply because you've paid off the credit card. Keep that open and available to you, okay? Maintain those accounts for the long haul, all right? So these are very important tips, guys, that you can do in order to improve. So you say, how do I get started? You have two options. You can do it yourself, or you can hire a financial rebound coach. Dare I say three. You can hire you a credit agency that actually provides this service so that they can go through a credit repair agency that's going to go through the process for you. Of course, do it yourself may take a little longer. However, it's going to cost you your time, but you get the knowledge. You get the experience and expertise, and it positions you in a different way when you know exactly what's going on with your financial situations. As stated, I do have available to you a credit repair course with the downloads and the templates that you can use. It has all the letters and everything available to you. It is a special for those of you who view this video. It is $9.99. You cannot beat that to have everything at your fingertips. It gives you a review of the information that I'm sharing today. You'll get a copy of this recording. You'll get the materials download that goes into more detail. And it actually has a workbook embedded so that now you can also use that to teach your children or to teach others. You can take this course on the road and teach others, whether they're in your church, in your community, in your own businesses. So there are different opportunities for you. If you go to bit.ly, bit.ly/DemmonsCredit, you can get that course for $9.99. However, if you feel you need something more extensive, you say, well, Lynn, that's great, but I need some additional help because I'm feeling stressed about money in general. Then Financial Confidence Now Academy is the option for you. That's your solution. In this academy, you'll gain knowledge of how to secure your financial future, understanding that there are some issues or concerns right now, or some areas of opportunity. That's what I call them. Those are areas of opportunity for growth. You not only restore or improve your credit, but you can understand your financial psychology, your money mindset, and how that impacts your finances, and what are the things that you need to do to level up. How do you get to that next level so that you're not only repairing your credit, but you're also saving, you're also investing, you're also, helping to build generational wealth. You're protecting your money as well. You're introduced to investing and so much more, guys. That's the Financial Confidence Now Academy, and it's available to you. bit.ly/FCN Academy, Financial Confidence Now Academy. It is an opportunity, guys, to take you to your next level if you want it. Guys, I'm Lynn Demmons, America's #1 financial rebound coach, and I invite you to contact me and follow up with us over at Demmons Enterprise. Go to demmonsenterprise.com/services. You can also find us here on Facebook with Financial Solutions, Twitter at Demmons Speak, Instagram, of course, at Demmons Speak. Use this link to sign up for Financial Confidence Now, bit.ly/FCN Academy. We thank you so much for spending this time with us. Go out there, change your financial future by taking the next steps that you need. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. We'll see you in our next episode.